you have your craft dinner?
Oh, crap. It's Friday, you bastards.
The internet brings comic fans around the world into one comic book community. Comic creators and comic fans, tonight you are seen, heard, recognized. Because comics are for everyone. Live from Miami, Florida, broadcasting around the world, this is the Not Near Mint Show.
Well, welcome to the Not Near Mint Show, everybody. We have a full-packed show tonight. So we want to say hi to the people that are joining us tonight. Hi, Miracleman. Hi, Tacoma. And somebody we haven't seen in a really long time. Hey, Michael Emond.
Hey, Rob.
Hey there.
So it's the last day of the month. It's Black History Month. We really haven't done a lot of that this month, but we're going to be doing it this episode where we're going to be showing some great first appearances, Black history, all things that have to do with comic books. But first, what we're going to do tonight is the top 10 is how we start every show. So starting out with the top 10, and the way we do it is kind of like this. We do it the bottom 5 and the top 5. And as I do this, you'll kind of notice that out of my 27,000 comic books behind me here, that as long as you have CLZ with a paid subscription along with CovrPrice, if you hit the value update button, it'll spit out a list of whatever changed during the course of a week. It's all based off of at least one confirmed sale, and this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to start with the bottom 5 comic book prices that have crashed this week. So let me switch the camera around here as I say hello to some of the people that have joined tonight. Hi, Not Near Mint. Hi, everybody else. Las Cruces and Tacoma. And hey, Bright as Hell and Papa. Good to see you from Miami Springs. I'm down here in Miami, although in a week or so I might be up in Gainesville because I'm going places apparently. All right, so here we go. The bottom 5. We're going to start with issue 10. Issue 10, number 10. This is Giant Size X-Men number 1. It's the first appearance of the new X-Men, including Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Thunderbird, the second full appearance of Wolverine, 4th overall, because there's the Hulk 180, 181, 182. So this week has dropped quite a bit. It's down $235. Came out in 1975 and in a VG fine, about a 5.0 raw. This thing went for about $1,295 this week. So this might be up and down. So if you keep your eyes open, this is not underprinted. There's plenty of them out there. And if you're looking for it, I'm sure you can find it at a decent enough price within your condition. Number 9, we have Fantastic Four. This is the first full appearance of Galactus. He appeared on the last page of issue 48. It's the second appearance of the Silver Surfer, but it's also the first appearance of Galactus and Silver Surfer on the cover. Now, while the prices have been coming down on this particular book here, there's still a lot of sales going for it. So while the prices are down, you might be able to get it for less, but don't wait on it if you're trying to find it. It's a down market, and this won't be cheap forever. So 1966, very good, 4.0 raw. Somebody paid $456 this week. It is down $170, meaning somebody paid over $500 for this just the other week. So you could still get it for less, but you know, tax season is coming around and you might even be able to get it cheaper for the people that need to pay. Next up, number 8, and you kind of notice a lot of these books seem to reappear on the top 10 list, whether it's gone down, has come back up, and this is one of those such books. So number 8 is Batman 251. This is the first Bronze Age Joker. It's the return to his homicidal maniac personality, kind of like how he was from way back in the Golden Age. Now, this thing here is down this week, $126. It came out in 1973 and in a 7.0 raw, fine, very fine. $651 is what somebody paid this week for this. And the Joker 2 movie, it didn't do any favors for the Joker, definitely didn't do any favors for Harley Quinn. But hey, if you're looking for this, it just keeps going down. So maybe just keep that eBay alert up and hope that you can get it for less. Number 7, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 41. This is the first appearance of the Rhino. And this Rhino here, so why is he going down? Well, there was a new movie that came out with Craven, and he was in it. I haven't seen it yet, but by all accounts, we really don't know much about that movie because none of us have seen it. It kind of bombed at the box office. Maybe I will when it's on streaming. Wait, it's on streaming. I still haven't seen it. Well, maybe I never will. And that's probably why this is dropped. In a fine condition, 1966 is still in high demand, but that's just because it's ASM. $356 somebody paid for this, where this was going for $400 easy even before he was announced to be in the Craven movie. It is down $57, but ASM, not bad to be able to get.
You know, the fact that you haven't seen that movie yet is just your subconscious trying to save you. You know, it's like when you taste something bad and your tongue immediately recognizes that it's bitter. This is your brain protecting you from being horribly destroyed.
Yeah, this is my brain on crack because anytime I try and watch a really bad movie, I just feel like I'm losing my mind. Just completely losing my mind.
Boy.
Well, I mean, just the same as just like Madam Web. I still haven't even seen that movie. There's so much I still haven't seen because I want to watch good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, not like the Deadpool movie, but that might explain why this one's down. Incredible Hulk 340, classic Hulk versus Wolverine cover with the reflection cover by Todd McFarlane. And I'm going to show a bunch of his books later this evening. So this is down this week. This was very popular when the new Deadpool 3 movie came out because this scene was in the film. But now that the movie has been out for a good year plus, people don't care about it as much. This was the poor man's Wolverine first appearance. You can't get a Hulk 181 or a 180. You get this. This is down $36. It went for $189 this week and a very fine plus. What were you going to say, Miracle?
That's a market correction, 100%. That's another book that there are a ton of that book. That era of Marvel, there were just hundreds of thousands of copies of that book printed, hands down guaranteed. And anything, in fact, I think it still needs to be corrected. I still think it's overpriced at the price point it's at right now.
Hey, Jigs. I mean, not only are you right, but with this book, I remember for the longest time, you could have gotten this easy between $30, $40. And then one day, I guess Comic Tom was talking about it on his show, blows up to $100. And then it just kept going in 2021. Got all the way up to $300 freaking dollars. And this thing was not like low print. Not at all.
No.
I mean, even the newsstand copy, it's coming out in a year of 1987 when newsstand and the direct had about the same. But, newsstand is usually for the lowly masses that handle things terribly. So they're usually harder to come by in better condition. But it's the only reason for something like this to be worth even a little bit more for the newsstand. But should it be $189? I mean, I don't think so. Well, that's just me. I could be wrong.
Well, it's a lot of people's top 10 comic cover art. I think that's why it was driven up because a lot of people want it in their collection. But yeah, it is artificial because, like you said, there's a lot of copies.
Yeah, we need like another fire. I mean, we don't need another fire to destroy people's shit, but it's almost like we need another fire, another flood, another something to deplete a whole lot of these before it becomes rare, because it's not rare. Well, those were the ones that went down this week. So now we're going to go with the top 5 books. And we're going to start off with number 5 being Captain Atom, number 83, volume 2. This is the first appearance of Blue Beetle, specifically Ted Cord Blue Beetle, that one right there.
The bestest Blue Beetle.
The bestest. The one that kind of got shot in the head by Max Lord, but we try not to talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
We don't
talk about my Ted like that.
At all. So I'm not really certain why this thing has gone up, but this thing has been down for a little bit. So it came out in 1966 in a fine plus condition because these books were known to be beat to hell when it came to these kinds of...
When it came off the press, it was beat to hell.
Yeah, I mean, they were already yellowing by the time they got off the press onto stands, but nevertheless...
True story. Paul Kupperberg who worked for Charlton at the beginning of his career, is a mutual on both the site formerly known as Twitter and on the Blue Skies. And I once asked him if the old urban legend was true, because the urban legend about Charlton was that the presses during the day, they printed comics, and at night they printed cereal boxes. And he said, no, that's ridiculous. They had been completely converted over from printing cereal boxes. So they were presses they once printed cereal boxes with. Charlton Comics, so everybody, it's a real quick, not to get too far off it, but Charlton Comics, the reason they got into comics is because they owned printing presses. That's why they got into comics. They were known for the lowest page rate in the industry. And two of the giants of comics came out of Dick Giordano and Paul Kupperberg. Both came out of Charlton. But yeah, he did dispel that rumor, but he didn't really make it any better. And I'm so sorry, Rob, but please tell us how much did this go, and then I'll tell you why it popped.
All right, so this thing went for $73 this week. This is a bit more rare when it comes to anything that's above mid-grade, and mid-grade would really be a 5 or a 6. So 6.5 is higher grade when it comes to a Charlton book like this. Yeah. This went for $73. It's up 28. And to be fair, this usually goes for about $100. So to see it go for 73 and know that it's been up 28, my guess is that this started dropping bit by bit, and something happened this week that maybe Miracleman can elucidate us on as to why it went up 28 this week.
James Gunn confirmed that the Blue Beetle animated that continues the Blue Beetle live action is a go. It's going to have all the same actors returning for the animated. They're going to be doing, voice acting work for the animated series, but we're going to get the plan. The obvious sequel was he's going to go save Ted Cord. So,
hell yeah.
So he's going to save Ted Cord. So first appearance, Ted Cord, going to stay up there for a little bit, guys.
Now that makes a whole lot more sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess let's move on to the next one. So we have that for number 5. Number 4, we have The Demon. First appearance, first issue. This is Jack Kirby as he came back. This is, first appearance of Jason Blood, who is Etrigan, the demon. He speaks in rhymes, and some writers kind of hate doing that, but it's always worked for the last, he is old, 50 plus years. So this came out in 1972. He is an old man by now. $119 for a very fine minus condition copy. It is up $44. Now, is this another character that's going to be in James Gunn? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that one. Although I will say I think that book's probably been a little undervalued over time. I think it's probably more appropriate in the $80 to $90 range, personally, because a decent quantity of them. But it is a Jack Kirby original creation. It is a first appearance. They haven't really done anything with him, but he's kind of a perennial DC character, right? He pops up all the time, all over the place. They're always sticking him in stories, But I think I picked up my copy for only like $25, which I think was way underpriced at the time, and it was about fairly high grade. So, I think, like I said, I think we're probably in the $80 to $90 range. So it's probably a little overpriced right now.
As you said, it's market correction.
Yeah.
And this before the pandemic was maybe a $30, $40 book. 2021 happens, everything goes to over 100. So the fact that this can be found for just a little bit over 100 in higher grade, I guess that's okay. But there are plenty of these out there, because when Jack Kirby came on over to do the New Gods and Jimmy Olsen and all those series, there were a ton of these printed, so it is not rare. So you don't have to overpay. You just keep looking out there for maybe OfferUp or lapsed collectors that are looking for this.
DC loved the way Jack Kirby drew Superman's face. They just loved it so much.
So much that they erased the face and had Kurt Swan come in to redraw it.
Sure did.
So fun. So respectful of the king.
Hey, what's the rhyme that Demon says to get himself to become demon?
Oh God, you're hitting me at a long week where I cannot remember this. Gone, visage of man, return the demon Etrigan, something like that.
I'm gonna give full points.
Pretty close, yeah.
Wow.
I believe it's the form.
Yes, I
The
think it's
form of Etrigan. That's
the form of man. Yeah, the form of man. Yeah.
gone,
That was
the form of man, return the form of Etrigan.
Yeah, some of this.
Good.
I somehow remembered that. I don't know why.
She tried.
That was number 4. Here we go. Number 3.
Don't just buy them and stick them in a box. Try reading them.
Hey, get through your Spawn, Rob. Get through your Spawn.
Read your goddamn Spawn, Rob.
Oh,
you fucking tracer! Your mother's a tracer!
Yeah, that seems about right. All right, I didn't actually read this issue, so fine. You can say that for me with this one here, because when I got this, I didn't get this personally signed by George Perez. I got this from Tate's Comics, and it was like $300, and it was before he passed. Wow. So I'm okay paying a little bit more for that, but I wound up having the poster of Crisis on Infinite Earths, so it's fine. I know the signature when I see it. It's not a fake. But in any case, this is up this week because we know that White Tiger is his first appearance in this book. We know that the male version of Hector Ayala will be showing up in the new Born Again Daredevil series. So it came out in 1975 in a fine, very fine 7.0 raw. $200. It is up 45. $200. How much did I pay for this again? Oh yeah, 100 more than that in 2021.
Yeah,
it's fine.
We all did that in 2021.
We all went crazy. It's fine.
All the hookers and cocaine I blew my money on. Wow.
Right.
Now that would probably actually pay off. I don't know.
Honestly, though,
you were literally too stupid to insult.
How did you have hookers with the social distancing? You know what? Let's get together after the show and discuss that.
I paid a little extra because my hooker was also signed by George Perez. Just so
you know. Nice. That's a high quality prostitute right there.
Yeah.
That's one I want to talk to. All right, that's number 3. Number 2, we have Star Spangled War Stories 151. This is the first appearance of the Unknown Soldier. Now, earlier this week, we already heard some news that Daniel Craig has dropped out of the Sergeant Rock movie, but from what we've been told, he was never signed on to the project. So he was just being in discussion to play a role in Sergeant Rock, not necessarily Sergeant Rock himself. But people are looking for other first appearances because that Our Army at War 83 is at least $1,000 in shit tier grade. So if you're looking for other things, this version of, they call him the Unknown Soldier. He's basically a bandaged up guy. If you ever saw the movie Darkman, the look of Darkman was basically based on this guy. So the first appearance of the Unknown Soldier from 1970 in a fine, very fine 7.0 raw went for $139 this week. It is up $100. There's plenty of these out there, but war collectors, they tend to keep their books. Just ask me when I show a certain first appearance next week of one of my other new favorite war characters. So that's number 2. And here we go. Number 1 book, the one that went up the most out of any other book this week. Now, a few weeks ago, this was down, and it's down, it's up, it's down. Why? It's not a first appearance. It's not a first appearance at all. All this is just the first Doctor Doom solo story. It has a Larry Lieber cover that people like photoshopping out the Doctor Doom and replacing it with fuck, because that's what a lot of us felt today watching certain things on the news today that we won't quite get into. But yeah, 7.0 raw, fine, very fine, 1969 this was released. $268. It is up $137. And if you wait long enough, I'm sure you could probably find a decent enough copy for maybe over $100. There's plenty out there. But it's Doom. It's the fact that there's going to be the Fantastic Four First Steps movie coming out. But nevertheless, just because a movie's coming out, eventually that movie will be out and gone for a long time. And hey, look at this. Even Miracleman over here has one.
Yeah. Now, before you get off and tell them how much the book's gone up to, ask me how much I bought this book for.
$30.
Don't ask him. It's a trick.
It's a trick. It is a trick. A lot less than $30. In fact, less than $5. I paid $4 for this book the year before the pandemic. Look at that.
You got that for $4?
$4. Look how pretty.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
And you know what the best part is?
And you will atone, Miracleman.
I don't even really like Marvel. This is some piece of junk I own. That's all.
Oh.
It's just some random crap you had lying around the house. We know how that works.
Do you think this administration would side with Doom?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, to be fair, Emperor Doom gave us a great world. All you had to do was just kiss the ring of Doom. But he gave us a perfect world. He just had to, not go against him. So maybe the orange guy is learning from the best.
Right up their alley.
I don't know.
Orange guy thing or the other orange guy?
Good point.
Yeah, shit.
At this point, I'd rather have a sack of rocks.
At this point, I'd rather have the fucking maestro.
All right, so I just showed the top 10. We're about 20 minutes in. I guess I lied saying about 10 minutes later we'll show some old comic books, but we're about 20 minutes in, so who wants to show some books? I know, Michael, you haven't been here in a little while, so
let's see Michael.
See this awesome background that I don't remember seeing the last time.
Beautiful.
Do you want the African American themed ones or the other ones?
We can throw them all in mixed together. We're doing everything tonight.
Okay, so I searched high and low in my collection. I don't have as fancy collection as you guys, so I had to stretch.
The fuck are you talking about? Will you look
behind you?
You motherfucker! Shut the fuck up.
They're photoshopped.
It's fake. It's frauds. It's forgeries. Please don't rob them.
So
nice.
I don't know. So African American theme. This will be my test. What's the African American connection for this one?
Isn't that Computo in the middle?
It's Computo first. It's Invisible Man.
Oh
yes, African American Invisible Man.
Yes, that's right.
So that's right. That's that tie. This one was a diversity equity hire.
Jesus fucking Christ. You couldn't even get it out.
They forced Falcon in, even though Hawkeye had his arrows all ready to go. I don't have the first appearance of this guy, but I love All-Star Squadron. It is first Infinity Incorporated Amazing Man.
Yeah, Amazing Man's great, man.
So that was 2 issues earlier. Again, I don't have the first issue of this guy, and he was woefully underused.
Tyrock.
Yeah. We never really figured out all his powers. It was he could do what he wanted him to do, I guess.
He could wear that outfit. That was a superpower by itself.
They were all jealous of him. Now, I was trying to find the first Justice League guy, African American Justice League. This comes close, but he turned them down.
Yep.
Black Lightning did not want to be part of the honkies, I think he called them.
Yeah, he was talking jive then.
League of honkies.
You guys can correct me, but I think Vixen is actually the first African American.
I think you're right.
So she showed up here. That was the Detroit Justice League. That's a nice cover of her.
Yeah.
I searched high and low. The first Black G.I. Joe appeared in G.I. Joe #1.
Hey, it's true. Yeah, there you go.
Stalker.
Yeah.
Not a flattering name, but
I think out of everybody on there, there's like 3 of those Joes are still alive. I mean,
really?
I'm pretty sure. Breaker, Clutch, they're gone.
Oh no.
Scarlet and Stalker are still alive.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. And you probably disagree with me. I think Destro's African American. I'm sorry.
I would agree with that.
This is his first cover. I know he's Scottish. I know, but come on.
He could be Black Scottish.
Destro, yes, I think that. Come on, throw him a bone. He's a cool guy. He's slick. He's well dressed. He should be like the most dapper black man in G.I. Joe.
Here's one of my favorite African American heroes. I think
Nice.
he's just an amazing creation. Anytime he's written for, I think he's great, well developed. This GSA run was great. This isn't his first appearance, but great cover by Alex Ross. This is when Spider-Man went black. Okay, we won't count that one.
Fuck sakes, man.
I gotta check. Okay, so this is first.
Oh my god.
So this is first Cyborg,
Yeah.
one of our favorites. I just want to open up to check because I got a lot of these signed by George Perez at the time. I don't know if I got this one signed.
Oh, that would be great, huh?
Maybe not. Oh, I did. Okay. He waited till the inside. Okay,
You
so
lucky son of a bitch.
you can compare that one.
That's beautiful.
And I
I might have to throw one of these out there.
Warning, 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 warning. Banger alert, banger alert.
There we go.
And it's the first. I'm going to get it wrong. Is it Lucius Fox?
Yeah, Lucius Fox. I just got that last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is it the Walt? No, does that mean anything? The Walt Whitman? I don't.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot rarer. The Whitman
Yeah.
variant that came in the 3-packs.
Yep.
Okay.
With non-newsstand locations and were not returnable, which is why they had the Whitman variant on it.
Okay. And just to finish off the celebration, two of my favorite African American creators, Dennis Cowan, and this is one of my favorite all-time graphic novels, Why I Hate Saturn by Kyle Baker. I just love this to death. I used to read this so much when I was a teenager.
I never read any of the Piranha Press stuff.
Did you read, just as a question, this is the other one I had by Kyle Baker.
Oh,
It's
that's
run on-
beautiful.
it's run on-
I probably read some of it in single issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I've got some other comics, but I'll save them for if there's a second go around.
All right. And Comics at Law, Ricky Ricardo, fuck us. He was asking what Batman was that. That was Batman 307 as the first Lucius Fox.
I swear to
Wait,
God, you said
That's not
fuck
Lucius
us.
Fox. That's Tim Fox. I just got Tim Fox too. 307's the first Tim Fox. Wait, 307's the first Lucius Fox. It is 313. That's Tim Fox.
It looks like you picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
I love it.
It doesn't even have the issue number because it's a Whitman.
It's a Whitman, yeah.
Okay, I couldn't even tell you.
Little airplane action there.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. You going next, Tacoma?
Sure.
All right, hit it.
All right. So for Black History Month, this one's interesting to me because, 2014, 2016, 2018, there was all this talk about like forced diversity or Marvel's diversity initiatives and stuff. And, like most things, I'm just realizing I lost all the books that's going to show. Like most things, it comes down to, are the characters good? Are the stories good? Are they well written? And the rest is just kind of bullshit and junk and, sound and fury signifying nothing, if you'll excuse, there they are, if you'll excuse the phrase. So what I find really interesting about both Miles and Riri, Brian Michael Bendis, who's as white and bald and round as I am, though he lost a lot of weight, I give him a lot of credit for biking around Portland forever. He co-created those two characters with his artist at the time. And he had at the same time had adopted an African-American child, which is the reason why he wanted to put these characters into comic books, because he wanted something for his daughter, which I think is pretty noble and stuff. If you read Miles and you read Riri, they do read to an extent the original books they appeared in as Black characters written by a white person, or just like Black versions of young white superheroes. And this, what I chose was this first independent run of Riri Williams by Eve Ewing, which I think is incredibly well written. And if I may be so bold, and I put my foot in my mouth, it feels more like a Black person's writing this, and it feels more like a Black teenager's upbringing, and I will show you an example of that in a moment. Let me go through a few covers here. So another reason why I love this series is because the 1 in 100 was one of my top 5 Stephanie Hans, and there's Stephanie Hans and Eve Ewing signature on this. Just a gorgeous cover. This cover raw was going for $100 like several years back. You get it for like $40 now. It has really come down, but it is without a doubt one of the best covers that Stephanie Hans has ever done. Really, really love that cover. Love that I have it double signed. And then there is the third printing, which is a very low printing. When people were going crazy for everything, this was, $100 book too. It's probably like $20 now.
Easily.
Yeah. And then there's Jen Bartel, who also did a really great job. And that's Bartel's signature down there in gold. It's kind of hard to see with the Mylar. So some great, that's the 1 in 50. I did sell the 1 in 25 at some point for a ridiculously high amount that it should not have gone for. So here's issue 1, the A cover. And the first half of this issue is like your basic superhero stuff. It's not an origin story because she already existed in the Invincible Iron Man run that came before this. She's a disaffected college genius who's supposed to show off all her inventions to anybody the dean brings by. And of course, she doesn't want to do that because it's cutting into her time and she's a loner and she's nervous. But it's all very typical Peter Parker as a teenager type of storyline. And, then there's a big fight with bad guys and whatever. But then the way this first issue ends is what really got me hooked on this series. She just has a flashback. Her dad is dead, right? She has a flashback to her childhood in Chicago. And to escape all this madness, pressures of fighting, of being a superhero, of being asked to be at the beck and call of the dean, she goes back to her home in Chicago. She's sleeping and the phone rings and there's this, childhood friend. And they have this conversation together about all sorts of things. And it sounds so very typically teenager, but also, and again, this may sound stupid coming from me. It sounds very authentically African-American teenager. There's a different tone to it, a different style, just different topics of conversation. And it sounds very authentic. And I said, that's the way these characters are meant to be. They're not just like a black superhero in a white world. They exist in their own world with their own friends, and I just thought they really got it right. And Eve Ewing, really great writer. I wish she would do more writing for Marvel. But that's what hooked me on the series. And then I'll just show the rest of them. We got issue 2, which was a really weird cover. It's hard to tell what it was at first. 3. On issue 4, I always love the people breaking into pieces covers. It's kind of a nice trope that you see. Issue 6. Sorry, 4 and 5. I can't count. 6, and who appears but Miles. 7, and then Doctor Strange stops by in issue 8. And remember, everybody was valuing this issue at $40 because it's the first time that Riri and what's her name in Wakanda meet up, Shuri meet up, and they have a little conversation. It's actually pretty decent. It's always interesting the way the Wakandans view African Americans, and the whole like colonizer phrase, kind of funny. But that was like an expensive book at one time when people thought that their meeting was going to be like changing the face of the MCU. And there's issue 10 in which she discovers, I think, that her dad is a member of the Nine Rings, a super evil, super villain group. And 11, and then it ended with issue 12, which also has some Wakandans on it for reasons I can't remember because I read it a long time ago. So that's my little foray into Black History Month. Again, I think there's nothing wrong with these characters. I just think they need the right people to write them the right way, and the stories can be as good and compelling as any other modern superhero.
All right.
Miracleman?
I got a couple of things to share with everybody.
A couple
of things. Well, I'm going to show you I'm not going to do the Black History books that I grabbed. I'm going to show you what I grabbed, just back issue stuff, and then I'll show you those. But well, before I do that, I got to say, hey, look, longtime friend of the show, Tony Fleeks, was on several times. One of my favorite writers. His book Uncanny Valley, issue 8 came out this week. It's only got 2 more issues before the series ends. Seriously, this has been one of my top of the read pile books. I really like Tony's writing, but this has been a genuinely really fun book. It's I can't give you a real premise, but that feller there, his name is Pecos Bill, and you can tell who he's modeled after. And in this particular issue, not only do we have Pecos Bill there, but we also get this universe's versions of the Smurfs. Look at that. And I really cannot recommend this book enough. Seriously, guys, take a look at that one. But back issue stuff, I didn't get a ton. I only got a couple of back issues last couple of weeks. But there were some good ones, right? I got a G.I. Joe, that's good. And check this out. Alex Nino's Nightmare from Innovation. Look at that fucking cover.
That's cool.
Right? And then before I show this book, I'm going to say one thing. Fuck the Confederacy, fuck Confederates, fuck everybody who's ever flown that traitor rag. But this book, 2001 Maniacs, has Caceres art. That's Robert Englund. It's a prequel to a real low-budget horror schlock.
Great. My dad used to talk about that movie. He saw that with my mom, like in the theater, and it scared the hell out of them because they saw it like the Deep South or something.
Right. And it's a pretty gory. It's Avatar, right? That's an Avatar, a book, so it's gory. Check this out. I was really super excited about this one, the Punisher movie special. Guys, this is the Punisher movie special for the 1989 Dolph Lundgren, Lou Gossett Jr. Punisher movie. Okay. I think it had a budget of $12 and was shot in Australia. But
when you posted that on our text chain, I looked that book up. I couldn't even find it.
Yeah, nobody has this book. There's a guy writing a novel who wrote a novel in French. It's a French novel. He's Frenchman. He's from France. He wrote a novel about the 1989 series or movie, and he is translating it to English now. Got a couple of tarots this week, right? Gotta get my tarots in. Cannot not get my tarots. I'm really getting close to being done with this. But this was the steal of the week, and then I'm gonna move on to my Black History books, or African American creator books. Check this out, and I left the price sticker on it because I want to brag. It's a little humble brag. That's Orbit number 1 from Eclipse. It is a Dave Stevens cover. There's his DS down at the bottom. And yes, that is a sexy nurse in a little pink hot number there with a possum, with a machine gun, and an eye patch.
And my guess is you didn't pay no $30, did you?
I paid $6.
God damn it.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Pretty much. So now we move on. I was pretty happy about that one. Oh, wait, one more book I got this week. This was a Kickstarter that showed up today. I'm so excited about it. Everybody check out Discordia Publishing. Discordia Publishing is finding all these old 90s books, putting them together in these beautiful omnibus collections. Demi the Demoness. This is an adult book, but it's incredibly good. It's never been collected before. It's the first time. Look at all those issues in there. Never been collected before. This is the first time. I was so excited when I saw it. It's a lot of fun. Yes, there's naked peoples and sex and such, but it's also a really great story, and it's very lighthearted, right? Like she's very impish. But that just arrived today. You can still get it from their website, Discordia Publishing, if you want to check it out. Highly recommend. Now, our good friend Michael showed off that first Vixen in the Justice League, and I had to go and grab my first appearance of the Vixen. Right, I bought that book for $2. But you know what's nice about the first appearance of the Vixen? When you also have a newsstand copy.
Ooh.
And
Early
that
news.
one I bought $1. Crazy good price on those books, even at the time. And then, you know, if we're going to talk about African American creators, we'd be very remiss if we forgot to mention Milestone, right? The original Milestone, really, really tough to find some of these end issues. I don't have the last issue of Hardware, but I do have the second to last issue. That's the Mobius cover. And, you know, these were actually really, really good books. I think they were. There was a lot of issues with DC. There's the first issue Icon. Here is the last issue of Icon.
Oh, nice.
You know, and you know, I mean, some of these characters are they're very iconic. But you know, my kids know the next one still because of the cartoon. Because you know, the creator worked in the animated for so long, the DC animated universe for so long. Static #1, they had a cartoon called Static Shock. Again, my kids still remember that show. When I talk about Static, they know who I'm talking about. And you know, the first issue Static is actually pretty easy to find, but it's real hard to find the last one. Another cover by Mobius.
That's like a $300 book on average.
Tough. Yeah.
I bought this for cover price.
Oh.
Right before the new round of Milestone books came out. These are real low print runs. What's even a lower print run is the last issue of Static Shock Return of the Cool, or Static Return of the Cool. It's the second series for Static. It was only 6 issues. That last issue is like 400 lower print run than this one. Okay? Really, really, really hard to come by. Now, another book I want to share with you here. We were looking at Charlton earlier. Now, Charlton was definitely known for the lowest page rates at the time. But one thing they did do was they allowed Wayne Howard, African-American creator, to come out with Midnight Tales. You know, Charlton wasn't real well known for their superhero stuff. They were better known for their horror, war, and romance comics. But Wayne Howard was the first African-American creator to be given cover credit.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Damn.
Yeah. You know, this ran like 20 some issues. I think it changes into a reprint title called Prof Coffin at the end or something like that. That's Prof Coffin right there. But these are the Cain and Abel of the Midnight Tales book. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but if you take a look right there, do you see what those two things right in the front there kind of look like?
Brains?
They kind of look like the
It
Martians.
looked like Kang and from The Simpsons horror.
Well, kind of, yeah, but that they were designed after the Martians from Mars Attacks.
Ah.
And there's a reason they look like that. Wayne Howard, if you can't tell from the art style, studied at the Wally Wood School of Art. And Wally Wood did tons of those original Martian books for EC Comics back in the day. Now, last book I'm going to show you here. This is a very modern book. I cannot recommend it enough. I absolutely love it. There's been a ton of series, and it's called Bomb Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Created by Jimmy Robinson. The first couple of issues, or first couple series, the first volume of this book, lots of nudity and sex. I mean, lots of nudity and sex. I mean, there's titties on every page, right? Bomb Queen here, she's a villain. She's taken over a city. She has the famous thong pants on right now. These are her pants. They are a thong. Can you see it better? Can't really see it better on the back. Hold on. Let's see if I can find a good page. Here you go. Here's her pants. These are her pants she is wearing. Okay. It is all sex in the first series, but as it goes on, it becomes more commentary on our society as it is today. I mean, it starts off that way, but his art and his writing really refine and get better and better and better. He just had, I forget what volume it is, maybe 6, maybe 7. It's called Trump Card. He did one when Obama was president, where Bomb Queen fucks up Obama. Then he did one where when Trump was president, where Bomb Queen fucks up Trump. It's irreverent. It's fun. It's really a series that every time I get a chance to grab a Bomb Queen book, I grab it. And if you get the deluxe edition, hold on.
Uh-oh, did he flee the show? Miracleman fled the show.
If you get the deluxe edition, right, which I did, it was a four volume deluxe edition, right? Each one we made books, okay? But if you get the deluxe edition here and you put them all together on your bookshelf, you get this lovely little. Hold on. You get this lovely little. Look at that. No, I fucked it up. Hold on. Not as bad as yours. Not as bad as yours. But there you go.
Nope. Stop talking. Go to jail.
3, 4. Here we go. Fix it. There we go. Look, see, there's Bomb Queen on the side. Went through all that effort. These are really good. Highly recommend taking a look.
It's okay. Last week, I had a cat. Well, not last week, the week before last. I had a cat right down here, jump right up and knock everything down. So if you didn't have that happen, it's not a bad day. So I'm not going to do all of my Black history at the same time. So I'm going to show a few things that I wound up picking up over the last couple weeks. So this was something I picked up a few weeks back. This is that limited edition, the actual one. That has a big tear through it, but it's Muhammad Ali versus Superman. And in this issue here, you have them boxed, but at the very end, they wind up shaking hands. On the cover, which is a back and front, which I'm not going to remove this, but it has all these different characters where there's Stan Lee, there's Superman. There's Batman. They went all out on this, and it's still worth a ton today if you can find a decent copy. They even just issued a reprint.
Jimmy Carter, I think, is on it. So now that he's dead, the value
right in the front. Yep. Right
there you go. Although we kind of forgot that he passed because who cares about flags at half-mast, right? I flag mine at half-mast for the next 4 years. This is a book that several years ago was going for, if you could find a 9.8 copy, it was like a $5,000 book. Why? Because this is a previews. Most of these things were thrown away or just disposed of or just treated like trash. But because Comic Tom a long time ago, I guess in 2020, 2021, he was talking about this as the first front-facing image of Miles Morales. The Black Hispanic Superman, part Puerto Rican, and man, his star blew up right after they announced him for a video game. Then he was in that animated movie. We're still waiting for the third one that had to be scrapped and started over from scratch. But I was able to pick this up for about $50 just a few months ago. So it's able to be found for much, much less now. You just wait for the hype to die down. That's all it is. This is something I got for cover price when it came out. This is the actual first appearance of Miles Morales, because by this time, Brian Michael Bendis murdered off Peter Parker from the Ultimate Universe, and you had this new kid that was bit by another spider of the same kind of design that the original Peter was bitten by. And by about issue 3 or 5, I'm not certain, but once he finally got his own series, he didn't start out with the costume that we're familiar with, the same one that you see here. It kind of reminds me of Hordak from old She-Ra series. I don't know why that strikes me. But now this same issue here that was about $500 raw maybe even a few months ago is easily able to be found between $250 and $300 now. There's plenty of these out there, maybe around 20,000, which is not a high print run. But in, 2011, not everything was high print. I mean, the only thing that was saving comics back at that time was graphic novels of The Walking Dead. So those are part of some Black history, and I'll get back to that a little bit later. But these are some books that I got from Tacoma.
Oh,
wow. Really?
Yeah, thank you. So he knows I'm working on my DC Universe prints. These are second, third, fourth prints that were released in value packs. And much like that Marvel previews, a lot of people just disposed of them, or stores that had an overabundance, they just tossed them. They weren't keeping them. They didn't think these were worth anything. These are 90s comics. No one gives a crap about 90s comics. Who wants this stuff? People that know better. If you see that on a book out in the wild, it's definitely not $1, but if you can find it for $1, not a bad idea to pick it up. There's another comics with Penguin, and Penguin was just part of a really amazing series that just came out on Max this year. So if you haven't checked that out, get on that. Now, this is impressive. This is when Guy Gardner started noticing he had different abilities. So he changed his outfit, and on the last page, I'm not just a Green Lantern anymore. I'm the warrior.
I'm a male stripper.
Warrior. Come out and play. Come out and play like the Joker plays.
I love this cover.
Joker doesn't. It looks like he has something growing off his cheek, but I love that because it reminds me of Fully Cooley. I know, I'm talking to him.
Who's the artist on that cover?
This is, let me see if I can see it. I have no idea. Oh, it's O'Neill.
Yeah, that's an O'Neill cover.
Kevin O'Neill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same guy that worked on League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Sure is. Yeah.
Or martial law for
That
real
too.
fans.
For real comic nerds.
Yes, us, the real comic nerds. We're totally nerdy. This is Superboy #1. The big issues in this series, if you can find the DC Universe on the issue 0 or the issue 9, which is 0 is the first cameo of King Shark, 9 is the first full King Shark. But don't be skimping on any of these that have DC Universe on it, especially for the first issue.
Yep.
This is Army at War as opposed to Our Army at War. So I guess they restarted this with a new issue 0, and we still have the same awesome covers. Just a short little war series. Now, these are 2 issues of Catwoman that I was missing, so I thank you so much for sending me these. Now I only need about 3 or 4 more.
Is that Adam Hughes?
Yeah.
With a nice little Band-Aid over her nose. So cute.
He does a lot of these whimsical little parts to his they're not generically sexy. There's always something else going on, which is what I like about him.
Yeah, he's more playful, and he loves to add the shine.
Yes.
Shine. Now, these were some things that I picked up at a place called Metropolis, which is more like a boutique sort of store. They get in old stuff. So Lady Fantastic goes to Ollie's and McKay's. We don't have that down here. Closest we have in Ollie's is up in West Palm Beach. And I ain't driving no hour and a half to check out books. But if they have the first full appearance of, who was this? This was the main bad guy for all of Conan. Amon Toth or Tulsa. I'm forgetting the name. You can tell I haven't read this one, but I only have the keys of Conan. But for $5, yeah, I'll pick that up. This was just a reprint.
Oh, okay.
It's not the real thing. You can see a little direct edition. I mean, if I did this, you go, oh my God, you have a really old comic. No, I'm just a liar.
No.
This is the first appearance of Somnus. This is part of Marvel Voices Pride with that, the frame kind of cover that Marvel was doing back in the 80s. I think this was a ratio variant, but I don't know. I got it for $8. This is one of the missing issues I needed from Supergirl. This is when she gets the Venom outfit. Yeah.
You said Supergirl, man.
I said Supergirl?
You did.
I'm not even looking at a Supergirl. I'm literally looking at the same screen you are. And I'm just talking so fast because I've had 3 of these Monster Energy drinks here today.
That'll do
along with a cup of colada, trying to be on top of it so I don't seem like...
I don't mind you not reading the book, but if you can't even read the cover, Rob, come on.
I suck. Speaking of sucking, here's Marvel. Yeah, I'm really losing it tonight. With DC. Here's something from Marvel. It's Spider-Man, issue 26.
Listen, this is a book that gives us not only Harley's, but also Ivy's butt as a front cover shot. That's fantastic right there.
Gilliam March, gotta love him. I got to
would
get
not.
the 3rd issue of, I think it's Superboy, where it's Poison Ivy and she's wearing Superboy's shirt and walking away looking like she just did something untoward to him. Used
Right.
to be a big book, but not so much no more.
Not so much anymore.
This one I picked up for $1 because, they have the Lobo guy on it.
The Bow.
This I picked up not because of Lobo, because it had this guy on it, and because it's written by this guy.
The Enos.
The Enos. And I have every issue of Hitman, but not all the miniseries. So I got to finish those up. Now, this was a little bit more. This was $20, but why? This is the first time that Todd McFarlane did any DC cover.
That's right.
You would not be able to tell because there's like no cross hatching or anything on this.
No, it's the least McFarlane looking McFarlane ever.
I mean, just about all of the Infinity covers did, because it matters when you use an anchor that doesn't correspond to your style.
Yep.
Now, this issue is important because they usually say Omega Men 3, Omega Men 10 is his second appearance. No, this is his second appearance. And more important, did you not realize that in Omega Men 3, his first appearance, they don't call him Lobo. They don't call him anything. He's just some dude.
Yep.
This is the issue. Issue 5 is the one that names him Lobo. Good to know.
Yep.
This is the first appearance of Ragman, came out in the 1970s, and $8, why not? It was in decent enough shape. Stick it in Mylar. Superman number 269 with the classic hanging cover.
Love that one.
It's not Neil Adams, but it's still cool enough to get. And if I get a cover that's this white and basically spotless, I'm gonna need to pick that up.
Nick Hardy? Is that Nick Hardy?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
And this is a reprint of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. These reprint some of the early Xenozoic tales. And for people that are trying to find that first appearance of the Cadillac and Dinosaurs, I think it's Death Rattle number 8 or 9. 8. There you go. I need to get a copy of that. I'm seeing one on eBay for $40. I'm thinking about it, but there's also a first appearance of Madame Marie that is quite a bit more. But those are some of the back issues I got. Who wants to go next? Because I have another stack, and then I have the Black History stuff.
Okay, I'll just show some. I'll just show some of the good ones I've gotten in the past year because you haven't seen me in a while. So I wanted to get this one on. Longtime viewers of the show, fans of me know that one of my favorite comic book characters is a little guy I relate to, because I also have $1 billion. If it's not Uncle Scrooge, it's the guy in the shortest shorts, Richie Rich. And this is his first full comic devoted to Richie Rich.
Wow.
No shit.
Warning, 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 warning. Banger alert, banger alert.
That's great, man.
And you can almost see up the short if you try, but you can't. It's
so close.
Such a tease. Okay, I got these ones because I'm collecting my favorite covers of all time. So these are ones from my favorite covers. I love this one, Rainbow Bridge, colorful.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's good. And here's one of my favorite. I don't know why if everybody else likes it. I know it's also kind of sought after because of Ra's al Ghul, but I just love it as a Neil Adams cover. So I had to get that one.
Or if you just like green a lot.
Yeah, I love green.
I like green.
Okay,
Genius
so those are my
green.
little special pickups in the past year.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Look at
Collecting.
you. Having comics.
Yeah, we like seeing stuff when you haven't been around for a while. Yeah, we got to see that. Like, I'm looking at your background and I'm going, I need that. I need that. I need that. Got that. Got that.
Books.
Need that.
Great book.
But you can see, like, just to comment on stuff, like, I really like that Flash one. I don't know if I'm pointing up there. Like, I like the ones that do something different with the cover. The Blockbuster one with that. Batman. I love those destruction ones. As you can see, I'm trying to get closer to the actual Spider-Man number 19. If I can get the actual original one. But yeah.
Well, that Spider-Man 19 is getting a little cheaper now.
It is coming down a little bit, so I might pull the trigger soon. So yeah, it's getting close.
Yeah, and have you watched the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney?
No, I got to renew my subscription. And yeah, I've heard great things about that. So yeah, can't wait to see it.
It's one of those where I watched everything. I loved it, but definitely not for the younger kids because there's an appearance of Scorpion and he stabs somebody, like straight out stabs somebody in the chest. Not going to say, oh, because, spoiler alert. So who wants to go next?
I think it's my turn. All right. So this is a bizarre. And the other day I was at half price and I saw these books and I was like, you know what? $1 each, I'll get them. So first of all, this was just, I'm not a Harley fan, but I like this cover. I always like the Shining homage covers. So I grabbed that. But then I saw like that they had all these books from their original series and they're only like, what, $2.25 each. So they're basically, these are $1.12 each to pick up at half price. So now I'm collecting Harley Quinn. Whether I like it or not, I have no choice. Once I start, I cannot stop. So I basically have that's 20 and then 24. I've got like most of the 20s and the 30s. I'm missing the earlier issues. 28, 29, 30. Now, this next one has Harley Quinn not in her costume on the cover. As
and
does
that would be a first.
No. Issue 32 is what Key Collector said the first was. And I looked it up and I'm like, wait a second. Isn't it issue 31? So then I started looking at all of them. No, apparently the first one was issue 9, which so Key Collector now has taken down issue 32. I don't know if they put up issue 9 yet, but I corrected them. I tag them on Instagram, which, they're pretty cool about it. Like I know some people have issues with Key Collector. I personally don't. I think it's a great tool to use. And they're usually pretty responsible when you say, hey, you made a mistake and you don't like rag on them. They correct the mistake and, go on their way. So yeah, if you look up Harley Quinn from the first run, you will no longer see issue 32 as the first one. This is the last issue in the run, issue 38, Cuckoo for Incarceration. So I got all those thinking Harley Quinn. Cool. I guess I'm collecting Harley Quinn now. And then a couple days later, West Coast Dave has a Harley Quinn #1 up for $30. And I talked him down to 25 and he said, yeah, I'll do it. So I got that for 25 plus the 10 shipping. He lives in town, but sometimes we can't always meet up at the same times, and it's not fair to make him like get on my schedule. So even though it's only a couple blocks away, sometimes he's shipping stuff. But then one of my LCSs was closing. They're actually having a party right now that I'm missing because of the cold. And I saw this book and I said, how much is that?
Oh,
he had 25 on it, same as the other one I got, but it was Thursday or Wednesday of this week where everything was 50% off because they were trying to just get rid of everything. So $12. And this is, as much as this one is very fine near mint, Dave's pretty good with his grades. This one is like 9.8 candidate. And the reason why is it was in a slab and the slab had gotten like a crack on the plastic. So the guy cracked it out of the slab. So this was a 9.8 book at one point, probably still is a 9.8 book. I can't find anything wrong with it. By the way, I have 2 copies of Harley Quinn #1 from her first series if anybody wants to make me an offer. And then hit that Alex Ross on crypto for half off cover, so like $1.50 on that, which is pretty cool. And then got these 2 books at half price along with the Harleys as well.
Oh, nice.
Gotham Girls.
nice.
Really, there's a 5-book series. These are 2 of them. Very low print run. They all go for like $10-15 each. So
That's not Bruce Timm, is it? Is it somebody trying to be like Bruce
no,
Timm?
it's somebody trying to do like Bruce Timm's style. Somebody Shane. Names down there.
Shane.
Yeah, it does have that Bruce Timm feel for sure. And that's, well, I got another stack, but that was all I put in one stack.
All right, Miracleman. I know you're fading, but did you have any other books you wanted to show?
I mean, yeah, I got a couple I'll show.
That's a
I got a
yes.
couple. I don't think I showed them yet. Look, I was really excited to show you guys this one. Actually, it's the first Elon Musk
Ugh.
on the cover of a comic. I'm very excited to show you. You guys ready to see it?
Give me Jabba the
There
Hutt.
you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
To be fair, that guy looks more competent. Dog Boy here. This is a fanographic series, right? It's it's mature. There's booblas, but I got most of it here. And then a couple of just real nice, getting near the end. Have to finish it off. Don't know why I didn't finish it at the time. The original Ultimate X-Men, 97, 98. 99. Oopsies. I guess I got 96 too. Ends at 100. Here is the Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate FF annual. Look at that. That's pretty cool, huh? And then I don't know how I didn't finish this either. Dan Jurgens, Ron Mars. Like, this is like king shit right here. Tangent Superman's Reign.
Nice. And
then this is one of the best Legion series I never hear anybody talking about. So this is the series where Superboy Khan goes to the future and joins the Legion. And it's actually really great. It kind of has the Great Darkness saga. Not a sequel, kind of a sequel, not really a sequel. That was actually really good. And nobody ever talks about this. I never heard anybody talk about this particular series. That's a really good one. And when I was a kid, I bought these. They had always had them at the newsstand around the corner from me, at the little local store. Power Man and Iron Fist. I read these books to shreds back in the day, just shreds. So now anytime I find them, I pick them up. I'd love to finish the run, but it's a real low priority. If I come across them for $1 or less, they come home with me. And then, look, I love Jerry Dugan. If you read any of his recent books, they're funny, they're reverent, they're ridiculous. He did one called The Last Christmas. And yes, that's
Brian Posehn, right?
Brian
Posehn.
Yeah.
That is Santa Claus firing twin 45s at zombies. Posehn, Duggan, Remender. I mean, that's how can you get much better than that?
So who's who?
Yeah, Remender. Yeah, I guess we should kind of say that about Remender nowadays, right? But yeah, that was really good. I'm trying to finish that one. There's only like one or two other issues I need. And then last things I'll show. Ostrander and Truman did the original Hawk World run, right?
Switches did you get the one cover with the who was it? The father of Peacemaker?
Oh, I don't think I got that one. No, I got a whole pile of them here. These were like 20 cents a piece. Like I think they're like $5 for $1. I got these for next to nothing, right? But it's a great story. If you've never read it, I've been trying to put it together. The ones I've read, I've
look at what Michael's got.
There you go. Look at that. Got a little of that Kubert action there, baby. But that's it. That's all I got to show. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to show one more new book. Wait. Is it here? Maybe it's not. Nope, I'm not going to because it's not here. Never mind.
Describe it with words.
It's square or rectangular-ish. It has a cover, and there's things on it.
Okay.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
And art. It has art and words on the interior, and we should definitely read these.
Look, I'm barely awake at this point, boys. I'm being kept awake just out of fucking willpower at this point.
I will try and run through this as fast as I can here because I have 2 stacks. I'm going to go through fast. So you were asking before, what's the first appearance of Lucius Fox? This is the first appearance of Lucius Fox. This is Batman number 307. This is the financier, the CEO, the guy that comes up with all the cool gadgets of Batman. Where does he get all these wonderful toys? This dude, Lucius Fox, first appearance in 307. His son, who becomes a later Batman during Future State, is issue 313. This one, as you see, does not have the cool-looking Whitman variant like Michael over here has, because Michael's just awesome like that. I just get whatever I can find immediately. So both of these books, you can usually get them for under $20 now. They're not that hard to find. The Whitman, you'll be paying more. So these are some books that I just wound up finishing a full run on. And I don't mean the full run of Marvel Tales. That would be insane. It's like a 260, 290 issue series. And no, I don't want all that. But what I do want is all the Todd McFarlane issues. It goes from 223 through about 239, I think. So let's go through the covers. Wow. 223, 224, early McFarlane, where he does those little corner boxes. Loved how he did those back in the day. We need to bring those back. Death of Captain Stacy. Oh, it looks like someone's being called away. Iceman. You got Angel, but without the cool looking wings. There's Iceman. And all that cross hatching. It pays to have a good inker that corresponds to your style. Dazzler, and I have a fly in here. Doesn't help having dogs when you have to keep opening the door for them. And things keep coming in. So you might see a fly race past the camera.
Paladin.
This used to be worth a whole lot more, but then again, we also thought that Taylor Swift was going to be her. Long body and no hips. Beast before he turned blue. And kind of a funky looking foreshadowing. Foreshortening. Little black cover. Full team of the X-Men. These books usually go for a little bit more.
That's my X-Men right there.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. It's like they really should have put him on an X-Men book, but no, we'll just give that to Jim Lee. You can have Spider-Man. Well, fuck you. I'm going to go do Spawn. Go do that then. Let's see how that works out for you.
All right, probably won't last long.
Yeah, it'll last like 4 issues and you'll be canceled. And you'll be asking for your job back. Ha, ha, ha. Sorry, Marvel.
I've forgotten how to laugh in this administration.
Pretty much. That's how I've been feeling today. Every time I turn on the TV and see him talk and open his big, stupid orange mouth. Hey, feet. I think it was this cover that led to McFarlane working with Rob Liefeld on the one New Mutants cover, where it looks like almost the same exact foot. But Todd McFarlane did the inking on that. So, hey, that's why you got a Todd McFarlane / Rob Liefeld foot. Those were all the Marvel tales. Now I get to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about all night.
What?
It's this.
Jungle action.
Here we go. So this is a recreation of, well, it's the reprint of an old issue of Avengers where it was the also first appearance of Man-Ape. So this was a first issue reprint that started Jungle Action number 5. The first 4 issues do not feature Black Panther. And when they first started this, they were starting with a reprint to give the artistic team a little bit more time to get some issues in the can. So this issue was the one that started off the run. And I need to pull one more. Of course, I forgot to throw it in there. So here we have the first appearance of Killmonger. This is the first issue where it actually starts original stories. And this run was fantastic. Done by Don McGregor. And it's the same team that works on it for the first several issues here. You get first appearance of Venom. Not the Venom we all think of as a symbiote, but this funny looking Venom. Totally different Venom. And I also want to throw a shout out to Tacoma Comics, who also does the full run Fridays that he does almost every single week. And if he doesn't have one up now, he'll have one up by next week.
I do part run patter days.
There you go.
Issue 9. 10. And you also notice some of these. I keep a lot of them in Mylar because Mylar keeps it nice like it's in glass. But as the run goes on, because the traditional Silver Age sort of bag gets a little bit smaller, so I started using OPP from Comic Clear. And you'll see it go from glass to not quite looking like glass. Here's issue 12. Killmonger comes back. I think he dies this issue. And then as we go along a little bit, hey, here's that OPP. As you see, OPP in humid conditions will start to shrivel just like a bag would. It's the newsprint that's on the inside that causes this. So Comic Clear works just fine with any books after 1992, but from before 92, you're probably better putting it in Mylights or in a comic skin. Here's issue 14.
Ooh, that's nice.
I love the yellow covers. Looks like he's fighting Sauron, but no, that's just a pterodactyl. Well, let's see what we have in the chat here. I chuckle when you cats mention Whitman logos. They were considered second stringers when I was active back in the early 80s. I mean, it's funny you say that because with every new generation of comic collectors, they don't understand or realize a lot of the things that the older time collectors do. And I can't even say that we're older timer because we might be in our 40s, some of us in our 50s. There's people that have been at this, they're in their 70s and 80s, like Cap, like Dan from the what is it? That big the turnout, the hangout. Well, I can't remember the name of the damn show where everyone's competing against one another. The Hunt. That's it. The Hunt. So yeah. Let's see. 16, Panther's Rage. I think this is the issue where he dies. Yeah, and the second printings, they used to be worth shit. And now they're considered more in demand because there's less of them printed. Who knows? Sacrifice of Blood. He's fighting the clan. Then we're going to get up to, I think I already showed it, where, yeah, Madam Slay. She's only made 3 appearances in total. She hasn't made any more than that. It's this, a issue of Iron Man Annual, I think number 5, and Wakanda issue 5 from 2022. All right, here's issue 20. This doesn't go all that long. And why is that? Because Jack Kirby returned to Marvel and they said, nope, sorry, you got to end up your run because we're going to cancel this and start up with a new issue 1 of Black Panther. Still fighting the clan here, but more demonic. This is a classic cover. Their buddy Kirk used to wear a shirt of this all the time. So this was one of the first ones I had to get.
That's
John
awesome.
Byrne.
That's so
Love
great.
the Byrne. And here is the last issue of Jungle Action, issue 24. It's not long, so if you're working on this from issue 5 to 24, it's not long. It's worth picking up. But those are the books for Black History Month. And one last thing I just wanted to present to you real quick, because since we've been talking about this, so let me just change the camera up a little bit, switch it back. Hopefully my cat doesn't knock shit down again.
Do it.
Please don't, kitty. But luckily this one's sleeping. So I'm going to share screen here because all this past month I've been doing Black History Month on Blue Sky. So check out Blue Sky. It's underneath my name there. But this was something that a long time ago, for the first time Falcon had his solo issue, and I'll show it right here. So way back in 1979, this first solo story of the Falcon was done, and this isn't known for being any great comic because you had one person write in a couple issues later, and he needed to talk about how insulting this issue was. So in issue 52 of Marvel Premiere, you had a certain writer by the name of James C. Owsley write into Marvel Premiere number 49, or about 49. So he wrote a letter. It was published in the back in full, and I'm going to read it for you verbatim. Sorry about this, Miracleman. I'm going to try and be as quick as I can because this letter led to an entire career. And you might want to know, who the hell is James Owsley? Well, there we go. Marvel Premiere 49 was a pretty good issue, all in all. Mark Evanier has done what few comics writers today can do. Fit a story into just 17 pages. I must salute Mark for his composition, which was amply by the art. The whodunit angle was not, of course, completely original, and I feel the story depended a bit too much on Captain America's association with neo-fascist supervillains. In fact, as implied, Captain America had shown up at the reception at the Batavian embassy. Chances are that the entire murder scheme would never have gotten off the ground. It's a little hard for me to believe that the spindly, well-bred Count Barza decked the Falcon and then made a fool out of him on 3 separate occasions. Also, the Captain America I've come to know would love not to have gone on with his daily constitutional while his former partner was all torn up over a case. What's really disappointing, though, is that, as always, Marvel writers seem to have trouble writing black characters. Contrary to popular opinion, black people do not run around making incredibly cute and witty remarks to each other. Moreover, the Falcon, as an official representative of his country and as a black man, would never insult a member of the Batavian consulate with that quip about Red Wing's fetish for dead rat hors d'oeuvres. I mean, by the end of the story, I expected Falk to don a wide grin and shuffle off into the sunset. Sal Buscema's art was also pretty good in this issue. Sal's an excellent artist, but he always seems to get saddled with some lesser talent as an inker. The issue, fortunately, was not the case. Dave Simmons' inks were very good, the coloring was also exceptional, and the lettering was fine. In fact, my only criticism with the art on the presence of one of the most ineptly drawn J. Jonah Jamesons in the history of comics. The cover was drawn well, but it was, in my opinion, insulting to blacks. Make that us blacks. Al Milgram is, in a fine attempt to create a ghetto atmosphere, ended up with the groceries, the jive-talking wino being hassled by the cops, and mountainous supply of garbage in front of the vegetable store. Come on, Al, give me a break. Not all of Harlem is like that, and not all blacks live in Harlem. I guess that white middle America couldn't relate to the Falcon sweeping down Scarsdale. That's James Owsley. Now, the response is really what created an entire career because they just laughed it off and brushed him off. Here's the response. Oh, we don't know about that, Jim. However, having the Falcon buzz Scarsdale on the cover would have related a lot less to the story, part of which did take place in Harlem. That is where Sam Wilson lives, after all. And since when are first ladies, winos, and garbage considered black stereotypes? It seems to us that if you change the race of 100 city blocks, you'd have a street scene right out of the garment district. Would that make it too insulting to whites? Oh, by the way, Frank Miller and Klaus Janson drew that cover, not Al Milgram. That was a shitty response, but that shitty response led to James Owsley becoming the first black editor of Marvel Comics and starting Black Panther #1 with the Marvel Knights, and he changed his name, his pen name, to Christopher Priest. This guy created Okoye, the Dora Milaje. Just about everything that we know from Black Panther all came from James Owsley, pen name Christopher Priest. So I just wanted to present that for Black History Month because that's something not a lot of people know about. I know not a lot of YouTubers talk about it, and I don't really get a chance to do many video essays, but this is one for you guys. So anything else anybody wanted to add tonight for the end of the episode?
I had 2 quick things, and neither of them come close to trumping like the history you just gave us. But we were talking about Brian Posehn, and that's his signature at the top. From Mandalorian, I'd stay off the ice if I were you. Brian Posehn, the speeder pilot, and ferryman. I actually asked him about this, and he said that though he only had like the one line or a couple lines, he did talk to Dave Filoni about a whole backstory. And the idea is that he was trying to save enough money to get his own speeder so he could do his own service. Right now, he was just like working for the man on his speeder. And then this is also signed by, Giancarlo Esposito and the armor and a whole bunch of stuff. And then I just wanted to point out, we were talking about the Whitmans. This is a Whitman 3-pack of Star Wars.
That's cool.
If you look right there, you can see the word reprint right over there. Covering it with the bag. So these were reprints, but there's also Whitman bags that were not reprints of the Star Wars. So not all Whitmans are reprints. And that's where I think the confusion came from, is having this little white tab down here made it seem like they weren't the real thing, but they actually are. And then there was a very rare Star Wars one where the Whitman bag had a barcode on it, but then the comics had a barcode. And it confused the heck out of all the retailers and drove everybody insane. So they discontinued, but that is actually the super rare run. So if you ever come across a Whitman pack where there's the comics inside the Whitman, the Star Wars comics have barcodes, that's super rare.
And you just made me grab another one of my Whitman packs. There's one for Tarzan that I got for about $3 at a
nice.
It was an antique mall and still has the original everything to it. But yeah, just like that, way back in the day, they'd have these little up here at the top, the little diamond, and the bottom here, it's hard to see through the bag, but it's blank. And that's how you tell an old Whitman. But for Marvel, not as rare, and they usually go for about the same with everything. So anything that anybody else wanted to add for the end of the episode?
I'm good.
Michael, are you appearing anywhere else?
Tomorrow, I will be doing a comedy show for charity for Crohn's and colitis. So if anybody wants to come up to Northern Ontario, please do not do that because it's snowing.
Where in Ontario? Tell everybody, where can they find you?
Like literally somewhere in Ontario, Canada.
Somewhere in all right, go see his comedy show. You just have to look for the name Michael of the North, or Michael Emond, his real name. But I want to thank Michael for coming back to the show for the first time in over 2 years. It's been a long time, man. So good to see you tonight.
Good to see you guys. It was fun.
Even though you tell me I don't read any of my shit, which is also sometimes true. It's funny because it's true.
We're all trying to read, but there's a lot of comics to read.
We get backlayed so damn often. Molly Timus, good seeing you out there in the chat. I'm going to add you as a moderator now, so now you're just like the rest of us. One of us. One of us. So we will be back next week, our regular time, 9 p.m. Eastern on March the 7th. That's a Friday. We're going to do all new stuff, show new books that we picked up, old books, all the things. So I want to thank everybody, Miracleman, Tacoma, Michael of the North. I don't need any thanks. I'm glad to be here and making people excited about comics because that's what we're all about. So we will see you next week. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you again next time. Love y'all. Night, night.
Night, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.